So, James Comey was one of the people charged by Donald Trump. Remember, he sent out that message to Pam Bondi to go after certain people. James Comey, Letitia James, several other people that he claimed were all criminals. And we talked about how those charges may get tossed. Well, today, the case against James Comey and Letitia James, two separate cases, were tossed by the same judge. Why? Because the prosecutor that was bringing the cases was improperly appointed. Did not go through the proper steps, which I believe takes a congressional confirmation, but I could be wrong on that. But didn't follow the proper procedures. But Donald Trump just rushed it through and appointed his personal attorney, this Lindsay Halligan, who typically is an insurance lawyer and who's never tried a case, but put her in this position. And because he couldn't find anybody else, the prosecutors he had in place were resigning and quitting because they didn't want to bring the charges because there was no case. They knew they'd get tossed for lack of credibility, insufficient evidence, or selective prosecution, malicious prosecution, whatever you want to call it. So they didn't want to do it. So he brings in somebody to make these charges happen. And in the case of James Comey, they had days to go until the statute of limitations ran out on these made-up charges about whether or not he potentially lied to Congress. It was very sketchy. It was a very shaky case at best. The type that most prosecutors would not bring. Like I said, they were ready to resign. Some did resign. And we find out that not only did he push this woman through, she did something that normally a district attorney wouldn't do. She took the case to the grand jury herself, presented the evidence herself. Normally you let your staff do that. And when all this came out, we find out also that the indictments that were brought to the judge that were not the same ones the grand jury signed off on. So all of this, we thought the case was going to get tossed. Well, they tossed it today, saying she was improperly appointed. Now, it was tossed with prejudice, which means the charges could be brought back against Letitia James and James Comey. One problem with James Comey, statute of limitations is up. So they can't really do anything to him. I don't care if he gets off on this charge and doesn't get prosecuted. I don't care if he got prosecuted, if there was enough to convict him. Don't entirely care about James Comey. The point is, Donald Trump screwed up, did things the wrong way, and the courts are saying you can't do that. Now, could Letitia James still be facing this? Sure. But it's made up charges where they're looking at potentially her filling out this mortgage application where she checked one box that says it was going to be a primary residence where 7 boxes said no. It's a stretch, and the case was tossed.